paid the money already. I'm just see what happens.
That'll be fun. That's awesome.
Plus, my sisters still live down there, so if I feel overwhelmed too much, I can just head out. Exactly. But that would be the week after, and that's right as school, the summer starts.
Yeah.
So
you're going to school through
just summer, because on Monday I'll be leaving with the ballroom tour team to go to China. I'm not on the team though, I'll be doing the audio for them.
What? That's the best!
So,
You have a good job. You're gonna go to China.
for 3 weeks, you know.
You're going to
Happy
China.
day.
That's cool. Are you guys gonna go like tour around?
Yeah, we'll go to Beijing, Shanghai, Hong Kong, 2 other smaller cities that are still millions of people. So I will, once I actually buy stuff and get packed, I'll feel good, but I haven't even looked at packing stuff yet.
Every day I think I should probably start like picking up your I'm coming back in the fall in the same place, so I'm gonna leave like all the kitchen stuff or whatever because my roommates are different, but like a different girl's gonna live in my room, so I gotta get my stuff out.
Yeah, that'd be nice if you had it there, but
if you don't have the ball.
Yeah, absolutely. And as far as
where do you live at?
Just like right over there, so over there across here, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Right on the road. It's
That's pretty good. Yeah, I'm up at Windsor Park, which is just, you know where Provo High is?
Yeah.
You know where the Del Monte is?
Yeah.
Right behind that, so it's in the same block as
okay.
Alpine.
So you're, yeah, okay, cool.
It's close also.
It's raining, you know. I told the boy, just stay and watch it on TV.
He would be out playing in the puddles.
Welcome out to South Field. Thanks for joining us today on this web stream of the semifinal match here against the Naval Academy of Annapolis, Maryland versus your BYU Cougars here, part of the Varsity Cup playoff series. 45 degrees. Pretty rainy out here. It's been raining actually through much of the night, so the field's quite soft, but still a beautiful day for rugby. I'm Jacob Sohn, and I'm here with Ryan Roundy. So just to get started, kind of want to go over to the keys to the game for the Naval Academy, and just to back up a little bit, one thing that we wanted to mention too, that there are 10 members of this team who will be deployed shortly after this season wraps up, and we just want to say thank you very much to them. 6 of them will be deployed to the Navy and 4 will be deployed to the Marines. So I want to thank them for their service. These are members of our armed services, so we're grateful for everything that they do for our country and the hard work that they put in on and off the field. Very smart kids. It's not easy to get into the Naval Academy, so this is a good group of kids here. But for coming off of their victory over Texas last week, the coach for Navy, Mike Flanagan, he really wants to, in this game, he stressed that they need to play their own type of game. They want to play gain line rugby. They're going to be a bigger pack than BYU faced last week against Dartmouth. Dartmouth tends to run with a smaller, more wide open pack. So I think BYU was pretty dominant in the scrum, but I think it's going to be a little bit different, especially in these wet conditions. I think this could really, Ryan mentioned earlier, this really could play well into Navy's game, the weather conditions, because Navy does play a more gain line rugby, not as much wide open. Mike Flanagan said they don't want to play loosey-goosey rugby because that's where they get into trouble. They like to keep possession, be very methodical, run through their plays and their paces. So we'll see how they they can do that. They also really want to force BYU to play defense. So in order to do that, they have to keep possession of the ball. You can't force BYU to play defense if you don't have the ball.
Yeah, absolutely. And as far as keys to the game to go for BYU, they really need to strive to start fast, really flip on that switch and come out quick from the very beginning of the game. They've kind of notoriously been known this year for starting slow. They've trailed in the past six of the last 9 games. Last week against Dartmouth, they had there's a slim margin against at halftime. They came out, they're really strong in the second half. But against a team like Navy, they're going to have to come out fast. And they're also today they're really going to need to win their set pieces. They've been progressively better over the year. They did a lot better against Dartmouth, kind of like Jake was saying before. Dartmouth kind of had a smaller side in the scrum and in the line-out. Navy is definitely going to contest BYU more today, especially in the scrum and the lineup, but they really need to win their set pieces and get a good platform for the backs. And kind of going off that first item, they just need to try and put the game away early. Navy's, they're big, but they're fit, and they're you don't really want to put the game in the last 20 minutes against them. So they can get up a few tries going into the last 15, 20 minutes of the game. Should be a good option for BYU, but those are things they're going to want to focus on today.
Yep, agreed. Yeah, it is crucial as BYU. If BYU hopes to make it to the championship game, and they can't look past Navy, but this is going to be a game. It's got to be a confidence booster game, and it's hard to boost your confidence if you play terribly in the first half. It's always obviously nice to end on a good note, and BYU typically does really wear down their opponents, and by the second half tend to score a lot of points. But focusing a couple of players that we want to talk about, you see on your screen there. Johnny Linehan and Kyle Sumption, the captain. We'll start with Kyle. Kyle actually played a fantastic game last week. He played with the USA team for a couple of games, helped the U.S. qualify for the World Cup. And I think he's definitely got to be feeling really confident coming and playing at the collegiate level after getting to play against international. There you see your captain there, and something he did really great last week was, and you see him right there. You see him getting into the secondary. So when he gets into that secondary, he creates a lot of problems for defenses. And typically, if you see Kyle make a run like this, where he gets into the secondary defense and draws in a few players, there are going to be holes that open up all around him, and that's exactly what happened against Dartmouth last year. He really set the platform for a lot of tries to be scored, and obviously he's a great defensive player. He gets out there. You see him right there wrapping up against St. Mary's. He's a really aggressive and a very strong tackler. Yeah, and another Kyle's just he's a hard runner. He runs really hard, and he's going to be able to set up tries. That's what you're seeing. Another player we want to watch today is Johnny Linehan, starting at fly half, wearing the number 10 jersey today. We're going to really want to watch Johnny to really set a good platform, get those backs going. Jake kind of mentioned it earlier, but in these wet conditions with the wet ball, it might be a little bit hard for BYU to be as dynamic in the back line as they would like to be. With the threats like the Whippy brothers and Polisike and Leland Latu, and you got Jordan Lowry and Chris Worley on the wings. I mean, they have fast guys, but it's going to be hard to be as dynamic as they would like in these wet conditions. But Johnny's going to have to try and control that and to lead that back line, open up the gaps, really attack the gain line, get some go-forward ball. Also, in a game like today that could end up being very close, Johnny's going to have to be on his kicking game. He's been tremendous all year, but in a game like today, there could be few opportunities for tries, and he's going to have to take advantage of every opportunity he can get to kick for the post and get points. So with Johnny Linden is going to have a big game today. Yeah, absolutely. And I think he can, potentially looking at this weather limiting their capabilities in the back line, it's going to be even more important for his kicking to be on. But at the same time, BYU can't let the weather be a mitigating factor here. They have to play to their strengths, and they have to be able to hold on to that ball and make really crisp, solid passes. Maybe not as many big skip passes and things like that, but they need to be able to make passes to take advantage of their full arsenal. Yeah, absolutely.
And just a quick note, as far as a few Navy players that we're going to want to watch today, we're going to watch the number 8, Chris Rixey, and also their fly half, the number 10, Jack McAuliffe. They combined to score 3 tries last week against Texas, and they're really the leaders of this Navy team. You got Jack leading the backs, leading that back line, and Chris leading the forwards. They're both going to be impact players for Navy. They're going to want to make things happen, get their team going, and we're going to want to watch their play today.
Yeah, and Coach Flanagan mentioned that Ricky Feller came up really big for them last week. So he came off an injury, and he'd been sitting for a couple weeks, but last week he came up and just really played well. And then another guy, John Thornton, was a very strong defender for him last week against Texas, and really came in, made a big impact, and played really well. So we'll be looking for Ricky Feller, Chris Rixey, McAuliffe, and Thornton to set a good platform for Navy. So it's going to be a great game. Thanks for joining us today. We'll be starting with the rest of the action here shortly. Okay, we're out here. Welcome back to South Field. Ready to get started here. We're just about ready to. The teams are just taking the field for the national anthem. BYU sporting some new jerseys, looking sharp. So once again, we got BYU versus the Naval Academy, and here's our national anthem. Okay, before we get started here, I just want to mention that we've got the BYU Rugby Sports Camp coming up here. So that will be between June 23rd through 26th. So you join us. You can sign up now at byurugby.com. It's going to be a great opportunity for any of you young kids out there, or any of you parents who have kids that want to increase their rugby skills. They can come and learn and play with the best this summer here at BYU. So multiple time national champions here. Really, it's a great experience for the kids, and just a good chance to come out and get more familiar with the game.
Yeah, and we're going to get some starting lineups for you here. First of all, we're going to start off with the starting lineup for BYU. We have at prop Dave Collins. We wearing the number 1 jersey. Zane Mendenhall starting at hooker, number 2. Cody Thompson, the other prop. We have Will Taylor and Kyle Lontine starting at the lock positions. We have your captain, Kyle Sumption, starting at number 6. Ara Elkington at the other flanker position, and Joe Pikula at number 8. We have Joe Nichols at number 9 to Johnny Linehan at number 10. We have Jordan Lowry on one wing, Chris Wornley on the other wing. We have Leon Latu inside center, Jared Whippy at outside center, and Josh Whippy starting at the back at fullback.
Yep, and we just saw the restart there, the kickoff there from Naval Academy. And for the Naval Academy, the starters at number 1, we got Alston Harper. Number 2, the hooker, Joe DiPietro. Number 3, Michael Tuimavave. David Dolinar, John Thornton at at the locks. At the flankers, you got Bo Bartlett and Spencer Wilson. Number 8 is the captain, Chris Rixey. And then number 9, Nikki Nealfeller. Number 10, Jack McAuliffe. Number 11, Alex Johnson. 12, Sam Gedden. Number 13, the outside center, Ian Sugg. Number 14, Brandon Willis. And at the fullback, we've got Cyrus Wilson wearing the number 15 jersey.
It's kind of just a little back and forward here. Both teams kind of bringing some physicality to start, kind of wanting to make that impact, but both teams are going to want to kind of play in each other's end of the field in this opening half. You don't really want to make a mistake in your end, so there's going to kind of, I think there's going to kind of be a lot of kicking to start the game here.
Yep, absolutely. Teams playing it very safe, playing for field position. As we mentioned in the pregame, Navy really wants to come in here and play their type of rugby. They are just really a possession team. Want to make sure that they're happy to grind it out in these wet conditions. There's a good line out from them. Looks good. Ricky Nealfeller, the box kick there, taken by Wernley. Wernley still on his feet, got tripped up and stayed on his feet, gains another 8 meters there. Nichols offloads to Whippy. Oh, and
yeah, it's going to be hard for BYU. They're, we kind of mentioned earlier in the pregame, but they're such a dynamic team. They want to keep the ball, keep the ball going, kind of getting those offloads going. But it's hard in a game like today, especially with the wet ball. Especially those Whippy brothers, they do a great job of getting a hand free and trying to.
Yeah, you see him just try to get to offload there to Joe Pakula, and that was just too late.
Yeah, it was too late.
Pakula was coming in for the ruck.
Especially in a day like today. I mean, you got to take control of the ball. You got to win possession, and not force those turnovers.
There's a short arm penalty there, taken quick by Navy. Good run there. Oh, and it's stolen by Jordan Lowry. Great little steal from Lowry, and there's Joe Nichols, a little box kick. Goes about 10 meters. Ref's bringing it back. So there was a knock on, and it's going to come back BYU scrum. Yeah, BYU, for those of you who tuned into or didn't tune in, so see here, Jordan Lowry comes and steals that ball. I believe there was a knock-on right before that, though, and that's what we're coming back to play. So the referee was letting them play advantage. So when there's a penalty in rugby, a lot of times there can be continuation there if there's no stoppage, in play. And the Naval Academy being penalized for bringing the ruck down. I believe that's what that was.
Yeah. And, they've, just seeing here, you'll be able to see on film, Navy has some big boys. BYU's going to have it. It's going to be a good day today to see, kind of see how their scrum has progressed throughout the season. They're definitely going to be tested today in the scrum. They got a penalty there, but as you can see, Navy's got some big boys.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit of a different experience than it was last week for him against Dartmouth, who has a smaller, lighter, more athletic pack.
Great first line out there. Great win there by BYU. Great attacking platform here, just about 10 meters out. Just got to really be patient and keep possession of the ball.
Oh, great little offload there from Johnny Linehan. And Jared Whippy dots down.
Yeah, great set of phases there. Being patient, and yeah, Johnny found a little gap. Great line there by Jared Whippy, and it was an easy try under the posts.
Yeah, and you'll see just in this, right after the ruck, this is the type of loose play that BYU has really made their own. I think in the second half of the season, they just really, take advantage of those any type of broken defensive line.
You can see in that graphic, the rain is really starting to come down here. It's definitely going to be a factor in the game. Both teams are going to have to really keep possession of the ball. You don't want to make any too wide passes. You want to keep it tight. And yeah, the ball is definitely going to get wet.
Yeah, this is a very cold spring rain here. As you can see, it's about 45, 43 degrees with a light breeze. It is not comfortable. There's the captain, Kyle Sumption. Ball goes backwards though off of his chest. You can see it's a slippery ball. Good little offload there. Dave Collins. And that ball goes backwards as well. So taken there by, I believe that's number 11, Alex Johnson.
Yep.
Good little box kick. And there's Josh Whippy. Passes it to his brother Jared. Jared kicking for space. Good kick downfield. So just kicking back and forth. Joe Nichols calls a mark there and then goes for a quick tap.
Yeah, so kind of like we anticipated, kind of just a kicking game. Neither team wants to play inside of their half. You know, ends up being actually a pretty positive outcome for Navy. They'll have a line out pretty much right at midfield.
Yeah. Showed Joe DiPietro here with the throw-in duties. Good aggressive defensive line out there. Picked up by Joe Nichols. He's dragged out of bounds. So good defensive line out there from BYU. Navy might have to get a little bit more creative here in their lineouts. Scrum down to BYU as the knock-on came off of the Navy hands there in the lineout. So I think everyone was hoping that things were going to dry up a little bit as the game started. That scrum goes over the Joe Pakula's head, the 8-man. Joe Nichols getting it out to Johnny. Linehan with a great kick. Manages to get past Alex Johnson there, but he picks it up and makes the most of it all by himself, but staying on his feet. Great job by Alex Johnson there, keeping the ball alive.
Yeah, great job. Wait, kind of stay on his feet, wait until his support comes. It was a great job, Alex Johnson.
Oh, box kick is blocked, taken by Will Taylor. Great defensive play there from BYU. Good pressure from them. Dave Collins with a skip pass, a little bit high. Oh,
ref said we're backwards.
And BYU's going to be in for another score. Chris Wernley.
Yeah, great play there by BYU. It's a great run there. The ref said the ball went backwards. Josh Whippy kept playing. It's a great switch on the outside. And Chris Wernley found the gap and got over for the try.
Yeah.
Great set of phases there by BYU.
So BYU starting much faster than they did last week.
Yeah, I'd have to say, yeah, we'll see the block kick here. I think that was Cody Thompson that got his hands on it. And which big Will Taylor got up there and got his hands on it. Great.
Yeah, good jump ball.
Great play by Will.
Yeah, and that's how dangerous it is when if you get BYU and you see how one mistake, you know. Yeah, so the conditions are getting the best of us under the tent here as well. A lot of water coming down.
So difficult conversion here by Johnny on that left sideline. Struck it pretty well, but he looked like he just pushed it wide. So that puts us about 10 minutes into the first half. BYU's 12, Navy 0. And this is definitely I think probably the best start that BYU has had in a game this year. They really come out and really jumped on top of Navy and have taken advantage of the opportunities that have been given them early, which is you definitely want to see in a game like this.
Yeah, and this is not how Navy wanted this game to go. They knew that there was if they got into this wide open play like this with BYU, then there was going to be trouble. So looked like a favorable counterattack, but a very errant pass there. So going backwards, Michael Tuimavave.
Yeah, great run, great kick, and then a chase there by Jared Whippy.
So big John Thornton there had a great game last week, so he does a little pick and jam. Then Chris Rixey So Navy starting to get into a little bit of a rhythm here. Good offload. Oh no. Sam Gideon. Sam Gideon was trying for an offload, but just basically had the ball knocked right out of his hands. So BYU back on the attack here. There's the captain, Kyle Sumption, rumbling for a few yards. Manages to get the ball out, but not much of a pass. He was just trying to get the ball out, and it was knocked on there, I think, by Joe Nichols. He's trying to make the most of it.
Yeah, I think what Navy needs to do is they just need to, I mean, they're going to have the scrum here to Navy just outside of their own 22. They really just need to kind of focus down, get a good scrum, win the scrum, and kick the ball back down to BYU side of the field.
Yeah.
Make BYU play in their side of the field, and hopefully they make a mistake.
Yeah.
A little pause here for an injury. You can see that's Jared Whippy that is down. Looks like he's something with his shoulder. We'll hope that he's all right.
I think BYU's brand new white jerseys are getting covered in the field paint. Hate to see that, a stained jersey.
Oh, you can see that he is. Oh, unfortunately, it looks like he's in quite a bit of pain there. We'll hope that he's all right.
So BYU is going to be bringing a substitute on here for him.
Yeah, I think that's Paul Asike that they brought in. Returned with the team last week against Dartmouth. Was with the football team for the first year. Plays running back on the football team here at BYU.
Yeah.
Just finished spring ball, and has come over to finish the season with BYU. So he'll be.
Yeah, BYU Rugby's very grateful to Bronco Mendenhall for letting them have Paul Asike back for these most important of games. Paul is a fantastic athlete, and he's actually taken really well to football, and had some, ran for over 100 yards last year against Notre Dame in South Bend. So he's come a long way in both sports. BYU with a good scrum that ends up getting broken up there, but a really good scrum from BYU in these wet conditions. Oh, and that ball is just slipping all over the place. Yeah, ref's letting him play on here. Oh, it's right through David Collins' hands and then just slips to that. That ball is very wet.
Yeah, they need to, I mean, both teams here, you can see both teams having to have a problem holding on the ball. Both of them need to just kind of tighten things up, kind of shorten up the passes, and just try and play a tighter game. I mean, it's something that you have to do under these type of conditions. Yeah,
Coach Kimball Kerr telling his team to slow it down here from the sideline, because for some reason when you get out there, sometimes you don't recognize the conditions, and so you just want to play like you play all the time. And so you can see both teams trying to play wide open, and you just can't. Ball is kicked out of the back of the scrum, so Navy with a quick scrum there. Oh, and a great tackle by Paul Asike right away, just all over the place. Good tackle from him. BYU finding themselves in an offside position there, and it looks like maybe that was the captain. Yep, Kyle Sumption. He was offside, and then he didn't really roll away from the action. So penalty there. He needed to make a better effort to get out of the way. So full penalty to Navy. They kick for touch here around the 40-meter line. I guess that's the 10-meter line there in BYU's half.
Yeah, this is a good opportunity for Navy. Finally have a good chance at setting a good attacking platform inside BYU's half. We'll look at Jack McAuliffe, the number 10 here, to really lead an attack, and they're going to want to, kind of like we were saying, just keep possession of the ball. Don't do anything too fancy. Just be able to finally put some faces together.
And Navy lucky to come out with that line out. They just go into the well over and over again on that front jumper, and BYU is all over it. So, but good job to Navy. Joe Nichols almost got in there and got a steal, but
Great double tackle there by Leland and Paul Lasiki right there in the centers.
And Ian Sugg, number 13, keeps it alive. Oh, that ball's intercepted by Zeke Mendenhall, who dumps off to Joe Pakula. BYU is just starting to really rev up here. There's Leland Latu, who's picked up off the ground. Referee to tell him to let him down easy, so no dump tackle there. Ooh, and a great hit from John Thornton. Wow.
Big hit by John Thornton there.
I think John Thornton may have knocked himself a little funny on that one. So he may have hit himself in the face, and I think the penalty came because he didn't roll away. But you see here, big hit right from this, just ear holed him. But he didn't release him after the tackle. I really think he may have.
Looked like both of them were a little bit dazed on that.
Yeah, a little dazed on that one. Thornton is a big boy. I don't know how big he stands, but he looks about 6'3", 240.
Yeah, at least he's a big boy out there. Big hit. So Johnny has just inside of the 10-meter line, probably about 35 meters out, pretty much just in front of the posts. And a great strike by Johnny to get that conversion.
So BYU 15, Navy 0. We're here on South Field if you're just joining us. It's a cold, rainy day. This is a semifinal match of the Varsity Cup playoffs. It's about 18 minutes gone here in the first half, so plenty of rugby to play. BYU starting pretty well, especially given the conditions. They've put in a good performance thus far. Navy's really hoping to reassert and play their type of rugby here. BYU is really not letting them make their size an advantage. So there's Jack McAuliffe, the number 10, who scored 3 tries last week. Good run back from him, but then it's just stolen from BYU, Leland Latu.
Yeah, Navy's, I mean, they've had good attacking, some good runs, but they end up just throwing away the ball just like that. And BYU has just done a great job of taking advantage of every of these opportunities.
And Joe Pakula with a good run there. He didn't think he was held, but he was held and didn't release the ball and picked it up and kept running. So if you just get tripped up in rugby, then you don't have to release the ball. But if you do get tackled and taken to the ground, which he was there, he was held for long enough that he would have needed to release the ball. So you'll see here on the replay, Joe Nichols gets that ball out to Pakula. Good run from him, but then he's taken down there, pops back up. It actually almost looked like he passed the ball off to Joe DiPietro, number 2 for Navy, but Navy sticking with that front jumper, and it worked out for him, putting together a good maul here.
Yeah, I like what they've decided to do here. Really keep it tight, use their size against BYU, put together a maul. Got a good extra 5 meters on that.
Yeah, smart from them. That's the type of rugby that Navy needs to play to be competitive. Good take there from Ian Sugg, number 13. Here comes Spencer Wilson, the flanker, and now he's shoved out by Neil Feller. There's big John Thornton. Back out to Alston Harper, the prop. And there's McAuliffe. Wrapped up there by Brandon Willis. Brandon Willis, number 14, the wing on the tackle. And it looks like BYU is offside, or coming in from the side. Yeah, so you got to come in from the back gate, as we say, when there's that ruck. You can't come sneaking in from the side. So Navy in some of the best position they've had all game so far.
Yeah, absolutely. And they've, kind of like I was just mentioning earlier, they've had some they've put together a few great phases. They've had some good runs, but they just can't kind of keep control of the ball. They kind of just finally get something going, get some momentum, and then they'll just cough it up, and BYU is taking advantage of those opportunities. So really just need to, kind of like their coach was saying, they need to keep it tight.
Yep, and there they are. So DiPietro with a good throw into big John Thornton, trying to use the maul to set a platform there. And Navy's back line has looked a little suspect so far. Not a lot of good. I haven't seen a lot of good lines coming out of them. Kind of guys standing still, jogging. If you want to break through this defensive line, you need some people flying through there, hitting those gaps really hard. And Navy just hasn't done that so far. But they're making some good progress, playing their type of rugby. There's take from Spencer Wilson again.
Yeah, they've done it. I mean, there was a pretty good job on that phase. I think some BYU player got his hands in there. The ref did not like it. Navy's finally getting some go forward momentum, going through the phases, keeping it tight. Good combination of using the backs and the forwards. So Ara getting in there, maybe a little cheeky play there. Get his hands on the ball, try and disrupt him, but the ref didn't like it. So I think it's going to be a, we'll see exactly what happened here. Good little run there by Spencer Wilson.
Yeah, so, you know, Ara, there was once that second Navy player comes in there, you got to let go of the ball. So that second Navy player came in, and Ottawa was still digging for the ball in there. Once that ruck is officially formed.
So I would definitely think that Navy's going to go back to that maul here with this line out.
Oh yeah.
To put every single forward in there, got a full line out. They've been kind of switching between the full and the hat and the short.
And Navy taken out of bounds there. They tried to go for something a little bit sneaky. I go for the higher percentage play there every time.
Yeah.
I mean, really, 10 out of 10 times you go for that. Just the maul, like you said. I think they've got the size to be able to go for a pushover there.
Yeah, I mean, every single maul before that, I mean, it was BYU's defense kind of going to switch it up there on the goal line, but I mean, you gotta go with your size on that and just go with the maul.
So now Zeke Mendenhall with the throw in. Good throw in to Joe Nichols. And Polisiki decides to run out of his own try zone. Oh, Zane Mendenhall, sorry, not Zeke. Zeke's his older brother. And now BYU decides to kick it. Johnny hit after the kick, but no call there from the referee. I think the referee was looking in the other direction. That was definitely a questionable play there from Navy. But and we'd like to mention too, again, 10 of these, and we'll see here. So there's Johnny kicks, and then yeah, kind of intentionally hit there as he was in a vulnerable position. But you know, this isn't football. A lot of the times you're going to get away with those. So Navy getting creative, running back and forth. They must have heard what I said, because that was creative. Some great play here from Navy. There's number 15, Cyrus Wilson, taking it into the tackle. But BYU's absolutely mobbing him. Otta Elkington, like a maniac, holds that up. Great aggressive play from Otta.
So just a quick note for the viewers on a play like that, when the Navy player takes it in, if the BYU defenders can hold him up like they did and not let him go to the ground, so essentially, not let him be tackled, and they hold him up and then stop his progress, then it'll be a scrum to BYU. So effectively, it's a turnover to BYU. It'll be BYU scrum. So when you get a player held up, you kind of have your other teammates come in and see if you can hold him up. The ref will give it a few seconds, and overall good play by BYU, and they got the turnover.
So decent scrum there from BYU. Oh, and that ball is blocked. Looked like number 7 there, who makes the tackle, Spencer Wilson, blocked that. The flanker, good aggressive play. So Navy forcing BYU to play out of their own half here. This is good news for them. Yeah,
you know, unfortunately, Alex Johnson was just playing way too shallow on that. You got to know that BYU, deep in their half, I mean, Johnny Linehan was standing on his goal line. He's going to be kicking the ball out. He's going to be relieving that pressure. And Alex Johnson for Navy was just way too shallow. Got it over his head. If he was deeper, I mean, he had plenty of time there to put in a counterattack, but he was just way too shallow. Ball got over his head. And now you find Navy, when they were knocking on the door, now they're all of a sudden they're 60 meters from the try line.
Yep.
Just a little bit of position, being in bad position on the field has its consequences.
So Navy really working their lineout, so doing well. Oh, and Neilfeller with a great little run there. And he's got support, so good run from number 9.
Yeah, I really like his play. He's a great job. He's a threat as a runner, has some good ball skills. He's been playing a great game today, Neilfeller.
That was a good hit from from Joe Pakula, but he couldn't bring him down. So it looks like that's Neilfeller in there again. So Neilfeller trying to make something happen himself. Little dummy run there. Cyrus Wilson. BYU trying to go for the steal there. And there's big John Thornton, but he's just driven backwards by 2 BYU players. Great tackle from BYU.
Yeah, BYU's done a good job of getting in that double tackle against these big Navy boys. Getting those double tackles in there to stop momentum. They're doing a great job of that today.
Yep, tough defensive line. Not really any significant line breaks from Navy yet today. I don't know if they've had one.
No, yeah, it's been a great defensive effort today by BYU.
Good tackle by Dave Collins, big number 1. And a penalty awarded to BYU for holding on to the ball.
Yeah, I think that was R. Elkington that got in there, got his hands on the ball, created that turnover. But once again, exactly like you were saying, BYU's defense has just been great today. I mean, that's a type of game that Navy, I mean, they have to play. They keep it tight. They kind of run right at you, which has helped them, you know, in the past is the type of game they play. But BYU's defense has done a great job today to kind of stop that. They have, exactly like you were saying, Jake, they haven't really got any huge runs.
Yeah, and I got to say, too, this Navy team, they're big, strong guys, very athletic. You can tell these guys are fit, and I don't see a lot of enthusiasm out of them. I don't see a lot of confidence. So to BYU's strategy of coming out here and trying to put the game away early, a couple of early tries can really take the wind out of your sails, especially given the fact that Navy did lose 64-12 I think last year to BYU. So Navy's got to find a way to get their spirits up, and they've got the ability to do it. Great tackle there. Huge tackle from Josh Whippy. Taken by Johnny Linehan there. Navy trying to get that out of bounds, I think.
Good job by Jack McAuliffe to get that tackle, try and get on his feet.
Yep.
Create a turnover.
BYU getting some go-forward ball here. There's Sumption. Good tackle there. Tripped up by Joe DiPietro. Good job by Joe. Oh, a behind-the-back pass from Johnny Linehan, and another nice pass. Oh, and Paul Lasike does it all himself. Wow.
See that running back come out and just sizes him up.
He didn't even put a stiff arm.
That was just a shoulder. Just bounces right off of him. Great run by Paul Lasike. I mean, you can just see how big of he is. See the replay on this.
So Joe Nichols on a great little backhanded pass there, behind the back pass, and then Paul Lasike. Oh, you cannot go high.
Yeah, I don't know
Paul Lasike.
Why he was trying to go high. You have to take out his legs. Paul, these last couple of years working out and running for the world team, he has just put on a lot of muscle mass. He's a big boy, he's quick, and he's got the power like you've just seen. Just a great individual effort there by Paul Lasike.
Yeah, there's one thing that working out with the football team will for sure get you, and that's about 20 pounds of extra muscle.
Yeah.
It's football obviously is a much more of a poundage game than rugby is.
But Paul has really come on and made an impact here early going. You can just see his natural rugby instincts. He's a great rugby player.
Yep, that's his first sport. And I see the New Zealand flag waving in the stands actually after he scored that try. He comes from the land of rugby. And I'm not sure who he ran over. I think it may have been the fullback, Cyrus Wilson, but but that's okay. We'll let that one go because no one wants to relive that memory.
Yeah, I couldn't remember who that was either.
Oh, a good tackle there though. Looked like he forced a knock on, but ref saying that ball went backwards. So good tackle there by Navy. Another good tackle there by Joe DiPietro. So DiPietro really put in a good effort on the defensive end for Navy. Oh no, that ball's knocked on by big John Thornton. Dave Collins picks it up. Dishes to Montine there. Went backwards, but Joe Nichols goes and nearly picked up his own pass.
Solid knock on by Navy. Be a scrum to BYU, just about midfield. But kind of like you were saying earlier, Jake, it doesn't really look like Navy is that excited to be here, which I'm definitely shocked about. It doesn't really seem like they've really, I don't know, had a fire under their tails. It just seemed like they've, kind of getting here. I mean, I don't really know exactly what it is, but
yeah, they. I think you lose. I don't. Navy. I don't know when the last time Navy beat BYU. It wasn't. It's before my time. I've never seen BYU lose to them in my time associated with the program. So I think that starts to mentally wear on you, and I think if you don't get points at the beginning, you do tend to get the wind taken out of your sails. But these guys can't do it. Like I say, I think I'm very confident in their ability to come in here and score some points. So
absolutely.
They need to play like, this is their last game of the season.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Good kick there. And Navy tries to answer, but Johnny's right there. And Johnny puts a little tiny chip kick over and chases his own kick, but then it goes out of bounds. And the rain is just coming down here on South Field. So as you can see, it's BYU 20, Navy 0. We got about 7.5 minutes left here in the second half, or in the first half, sorry. Thank you for joining us on this live web feed brought to you by the BYU Visual Audio Group. Good take there, good line out from Navy, and there goes Navy back into a maul. Like to see that. Smart play from them. Recycling the ball backwards, and there's the flanker, Bo Bartlett, taking it himself off the back. Neil Feller to McAuliffe. Good little kick, little chip over from McAuliffe. But BYU answering. Oh, and that ball's knocked loose, so good play there by Navy. In these kind of conditions, sometimes all you got to do is just put a hand on them, and they're going to loose the ball. It's a very wet ball right now.
Yes, once again, this is the semifinal of the Varsity Cup, second year of the Varsity Cup, with BYU winning the national championship last year against Cal. Cal is playing Central Washington in the other semifinal today, and the championship will be next week in Salt Lake City, Utah, at Rio Tinto Stadium. Home
of the Real Salt Lake.
Yeah, home of the Real Salt Lake. The winner will take on the winner of Cal and Central Washington. Been a great competition. There's some great quarterfinal games last week.
So that ball's fielded by Whippy. Takes it back up himself, keeps the ball in hand. Not a bad decision given the conditions. BYU got plenty of support there. Nichols out to Elkington. So Joe Nichols getting the start over Luke Mocke today, and he's been doing a really great job. He's made a lot of progress this year. And Johnny's right there. Ball went backwards still.
Yeah, had a favorable bounce there, landed in Johnny's hands.
And there's Joe Pakula, does a little, oh my goodness. Kyle Sumption, the captain, Kyle Sumption, manages to catch the ball, 2 hands behind his back.
If he could finish that, I would have given him all the props in the world.
Yeah, I would have liked to have seen him score the try.
See the replay on that one. Yeah, it's Cody Thompson that gets in there with
Cody Thompson,
good
thanks.
little pass.
Yeah. I'm glad he caught that one on tape.
Oh.
Another throw in there. Big John Thornton takes it. So Navy's been doing a great job in their lineouts. There's Neil Feller with a box kick right into Wernley's hands.
Yeah.
That was 14 Brandon Willis who put a hit on him. But BYU right back at you. Lasike with the pass out to Leland Latu, who can't quite hang on to it.
I think he was kind of seeing the space in front of him, kind of maybe got a little bit too excited about attacking the space and kind of forgot about the fact that in this weather you really got to focus on catching the ball.
And you see Paul Lasike there. He's just built like a truck. I mean, he was big when he came here, and
he's a big boy.
And he's really, he's just developed into a great athlete. So Cougars happy to have him back for sure. He brings a confidence and a new spark to that back line. And he's just I mean, people just got to focus on him. So he's just always going to open up running lanes. BYU with a great scrum.
Good scrum, yeah.
He's calling it Ryan?
Yeah, the ref was saying that they were kind of pulling on that side. It's pretty much kind of forcing. You have to drive straight. Both the props on each side of the scrum have to drive straight. I think he was saying that he thought one of the props, whichever side was going back, was kind of pulling the other prop instead of driving straight, which is a penalty. Kind of trying to force
the wheel.
Force the wheel, yeah, which, I mean, is definitely a tactical thing that happens, but you got to do it more secretively, I guess.
Yep.
I mean, teams do it, but the ref, stopped that BYU was doing it, and Navy got the penalty.
Another good line out from Navy. Neil Feller taking his time, being patient. David Dolinar, number 4, decides to take it out himself. That's kicked ahead.
Nice kick.
And a good kick there from Jordan Lowry.
Yeah, once again, Alex Johnson kind of finds himself just a little bit too shallow, and the ball gets over his head.
Yep. There's Johnny, ball in hand. Gets out to Whippy. Whippy to Wernley. Wernley trying to turn it on, back to Whippy. Great play from him. He's still on his feet.
I'd like to see Josh just go down and set that phase up rather than try and...
Smart play.
Great
and there
play
goes
by
Zane Mendenhall. Wow.
Great finish by Zay, too.
What a burst of speed from him, and he's really excited.
Great try by Zay Mendenhall. Great set of phases there. Like I was saying, great job by Josh Whippy just to notice that, there's sometimes it's just a great thing just to go down with the ball and set up another phase. It's a great little sidestep there by this big Zay Mendenhall.
Yeah.
He's a big boy, but he has some pretty good footwork and he's fast.
Yeah, you don't get to see him uncap his speed very often. So
great job there by Zay Mendenhall, having a little fun scoring the try too.
So that pushes the score, BYU 27, Navy 0, with just a couple minutes left here in the first half. We'll see if Johnny can push the score line to 29-0. And he does so easily. So BYU 29, Navy 0.
Yeah, it's been a good first half from BYU. They've really come out. They started fast. They've beaten Navy, I would say, in almost every aspect of the game. Their lineout's been good. Their scrum's been good. They've really been setting that platform, the things they've been really wanting to focus on. They've hit every single one of their keys to the game. Starting fast, getting up on Navy early, getting good set pieces. And, when you do those things, good things are going to happen. As you can see, they're up 29-0 in the first half against a great Navy team.
And this is the type of, especially if they can maybe put one more on the board here, this is the type of lead that you want to take into the halftime. It's just, you look at that scoreboard if you're on Navy side, and you don't have much hope that you're going to be able to erase a 29-point deficit against a BYU team like this. But same time, want to see these boys come out here and just put in a good game. So looks like we're having a little bit of a chat with the forward pack there. The referee doesn't like what he saw out of David Dolinar. So it'll be scrum down to Navy.
Rain just continues to pour here at BYU. The south field, just keeping everything wet.
Yeah.
You can see the water starting to splash up as on the field.
Yeah. Puddles starting to form out there. So good set of hands there from Navy. Not able to break into the secondary, but still a good set of hands from them. Good phases from Navy. Oh, but that ball is stolen and then knocked on by Joe Pakula.
Great steal by Joe, and just couldn't hold on to the ball.
Not a big surprise. And we've got looks like someone's shaking up a little bit. Oh, and we're just going to call halftime there. So take a quick break here. 10-minute break for halftime. Great first half from BYU. You already kind of mentioned the good points from them. light. Everybody, BYU is playing light on their feet. Joe Nichols playing at number 9 for Luke Mulkey has just done a really good job. I mean, he's really like improved this year, and I think BYU's the backline coach has to be very happy with it, what they're seeing out of Joe Nichols so far. Doing a great job distributing the ball.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think there's one thing that I am kind of shocked about. We've kind of mentioned it earlier, but when I played Navy a couple years ago, it was just, I mean, they were much more intense. I mean, I'm just kind of still shocked about, I guess, the intensity level of Navy. They just kind of, doesn't seem like they were really in it. In this huge Varsity Cup semifinal match. Come here into BYU, and they know it's going to be hard. I would like to see them come out with definitely more intensity from the very beginning.
I mean, you're got to play for pride at this point in time. I mean, it's the last game of the season. For a lot of the seniors over there for Navy, this is their last. This is maybe their last rugby game ever. So you got to just come out here and lay it all on the field. Conditions aside, score aside, you come out here mentally. It's 0-0, and you want to come out here and hit somebody and score some points. You know?
I mean, they're mentally tough. I mean, these guys are some of the best athletes in America, and they're mentally tough. So they're going to come out. They're going to bring it all in the second half, and I think it's going to be a great second half for rugby.
Yep.
I'm too cold, but I got some t-shirts that I can throw out if you make some noise. I played racquetball this morning. My arm's not good. Last one. I'm sorry, guys. Scotty! My friend got it anyway. Hey! And a quick little shout out, the playing jerseys that are playing in today were donated from the Collins family, the people in blue here. So if we could give them a round of applause. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome back our BYU Cougars.
Okay, just a reminder, I just want to let everyone know if you've got kids who are interested in rugby or interested in improving their skills, or any of you young kids who are out there watching, or any of your international folks who may be tuning in, if you want an excuse to come here to Utah, June 23rd through 26th, got an amazing BYU Rugby camp. This is where champions are made. BYU defending national champions here. You'll get a chance to run with some of the best players in collegiate rugby, as well as some former USA rugby players who will be helping out from the coaching aspect of it. It's just an all-around great experience. So go to BYURugby.com and sign up today.
Yeah, I've had the opportunity actually to to coach that a few years, be a part of that whole aspect. I mean, the kids come, they have a great time, enjoy themselves, be able to stay here at BYU in the dorms. Meet other kids from all over the country that come in and play. I mean, it's a great fun, great week, and they learn a lot too.
Yeah. So keep that in mind, parents. If you're thinking about paying for that camp for your kids, that they only get the best of the best here to coach. So the likes of Ryan Roundy helping out.
I don't know about that, but.
So we're getting ready for kickoff here. The crowd is actually quite lively and has filled out as good as we could hope for a terrible, rainy, cold day here in spring. There's the restart.
And we see Curtis Andrews there has come in for Navy for a halftime substitute. We'll see there number 19. I think that's the only substitute that was made at halftime.
There's Neil Feller with a good box kick. Takes a good bounce there. Knocked backwards for BYU and then kicked forward there by Alex Johnson. Whippy making the most of it. He's so good at just making people bounce off him, and he's still on his feet. Crazy. Just fending off. He's going to try and take this in, and he takes it all the way.
That
Absolutely.
is an amazing individual effort there by Josh Whippy. The very beginning, he just kind of cut back against the grain, and I mean, I saw he had the whole Navy team in front of him, and somehow just used his footwork to get every single one of them.
Here he is. You see here, it just makes nothing. There was nothing there. He's got the whole Navy team in front of him.
Probably broke about 5 or 6 tackles there. And brings out the stiff arm. Love to see that.
On Neil Feller, and then once again, Cyrus Wilson going high on him. He looks, that's the thing though, Whippy, he's really deceptive because he doesn't look like he's that big.
Yeah.
But he's just so strong.
Yeah, he's a strong runner. He's a very strong runner.
So he makes people, we've seen him all year. He just makes people miss like crazy.
Just all individual effort there by Josh Whippy. You can just see the type of player that he is, the type of athlete that he is. And I think you got to think that second Navy player, I think that was Cyrus Wilson, the fullback that came in there. After Josh Whippy put a stiff arm on Neil Feller those first couple times, you think he would have come in and try to take him low, but comes in high again, gets the same stiff arm, and Josh Whippy goes in for an incredible score in the corner. Great try there by Josh Whippy.
So BYU, that's about as good as they could have hoped to start off the second half of rugby. And there's a restart from Navy. Taken by Joe Pakula. He's hit hard by a couple of Navy guys, but holds on to the ball.
Hey, you know what though? I like just seeing Navy in these first couple minutes. They're coming out hard. They're coming out strong in the second half. You can see it. You can look a little bit more focused, look a little bit more excited to be here, which I think they were kind of missing in that first half. But they're flying around. They're hitting people, and if they
hopefully
see if they can.
They had their coach gave them a good talking to there at halftime to wake them up.
Yeah, see if they can put in a try here to get some momentum going. It looks like Luke Mockey came in at halftime as well. Looks like that was another substitute for Joseph Nichols.
BYU driving him backwards. Good tackle there by Luke Mockey, and then steals his own ball, goes backwards. So BYU is back in action. There's Jordan Lowry with a little pass off the foot, and Josh Whippy just shows his disgust by kicking it out of bounds.
Yeah, just pretty, I don't want to say bad pass, but just a hard pass maybe from Jordan Lowry. Not as good as a pass as you need to make there.
Given these conditions.
You gotta put it get a little bit better pass there, but it's a hard ball to catch there from Josh. And
given these conditions, if you're gonna you can't put pass the ball that low. It's just not going to happen. It would have been a fingertip grab, even in dry conditions.
BYU scrum has been very good today. I've been very impressed with that against this bigger Navy pack. We saw that last week against Dartmouth. They had a great scrum last week against Dartmouth, and I was excited to see how they do today against a bigger, stronger, more physical Navy pack, and they've done a great job today.
Yeah, so good.
Definitely been improving.
Good technique there from BYU. That scrum collapses. Luke Muckey putting really good pressure there on Neilfeller. Jordan Lowry with a little kick over. Good kick from him into space. But that's picked up by Cyrus Wilson, number 15. Neilfeller looking for help, and then he does find it. Oh, pass goes back out of bounds. So unfortunate for Navy there. Ball goes out of bounds. Zane Mendenhall will be throwing the ball in.
Yeah, Zane Mendenhall's had a great game today. She's done a great job with his throws, getting around the field, made some good tackles. Of course, he had that great try, great run up right up the middle. But it's really a great game so far today by the hooker.
Looks like they're go for a middle throw to Kyle Sumption, but
and of course, right when I say that, Zane Mendenhall can't get it. Yeah, can't throw the ball straight. So for those of you at home, if you're new to rugby, when they do these lineouts, the hooker that is throwing the ball in has to throw it down the middle. I mean, it has to be straight, has to be, barely able to, both teams have a fair chance of getting the ball.
Great throw there by, and Joe DiPietro has really been on his throws. He has. He's done a great job today. And BYU being penalized. Looks like they came in offsides.
Yeah, that's the fly half, Jack McAuliffe. Really like to see him and Chris Rixey kind of leading the team, getting something going here, and getting in a try or two, kind of creating a spark, making something happen, making plays happen. The team's kind of looking to them as their leaders to really make something happen. I'd like to see that.
Absolutely, yeah. They need a morale booster, most certainly. Big John Thornton. And BYU, good defensive maul there. They tear that maul down before they can get it started. There's another miscue there, and Paul Asike chips it ahead. Uh-oh, this could be trouble for Navy. The ball went backwards, however, I think he's saying that it was knocked on by Navy before that ball went backwards by... Everybody at BYU wanted to see a continuation because BYU had all the momentum on that play.
I think they were saying that Johnny actually was the one that knocked that on.
Oh, Johnny knocked it on.
Yeah, Johnny knocked it on. So I think they were saying that Johnny, we'll see this.
Oh, there it is, yep.
So I think they were thinking that Johnny knocked it backwards. It looked like maybe his first hand knocked it forward, possibly.
Navy having a tough time getting that ball out of there, and Luke Muckey's there all over Chris Rixey. Good tackle by Muckey. He's come in very aggressive on that defensive scrum. Almost a high tackle there on Chris Wilson, or Cyrus Wilson rather, but good tackle there from BYU.
Yeah, good run there by John Thornton.
Oh, that ball's just bouncing around all over the place.
I think it's turnover. Yeah, BYU ended up with it.
And there's the grubber by Luke Muckey is blocked. Good tackle there. Just a that ball is being knocked on all over the place, and the ref is just letting him play. I do appreciate how much the ref is letting him play. Still no whistle. Going for And they go on, they play on with the quick line out. There's Luke Muckett kicking for the corner. Finally, some stability out there on the field. That was a wild series of passes and knock-ons. And finally, we got a whistle blown down. It seems like nobody can hold on to the ball right now.
The last little segment was all over the place. Just people pretty much kicking it if they saw it. Eventually came down. Just, unfortunately, a knock on there by Polisike. Be a scrum to Navy here about midfield. So the refs talking to both teams about something there, but
BYU
once again just
pushing Navy backwards.
Putting a lot of pressure on Navy.
BYU. Wow.
And Luke Muckett ends up with it.
He's saying, the referee's saying it went backwards, and there's Kyle Sumption, the captain, wow, with a good run. Oh, and it was actually knocked out of his hands by his own player.
Yeah.
Picked up by David Dolinar. Great run from David Dolinar. He picks up about 15 meters. Navy with some momentum. There's DiPietro.
Great still there. R. Elkington is just played awesome today. He's doing exactly what a flanker needs to do, getting his hands on the ball and creating turnovers. I think that's the second or third turnover that he's caused. He was just slowing up the ball all day.
Yeah, he's like laser beam focused on getting that ball, though. He's been very aggressive. I think everybody, these other forwards can take, really need to watch the way he plays. He knows the game very well. He knows the way that the flanker's supposed to play. I think it's easy. That's the harder way to play. It's easier to just go in and tackle and set up for the next phase. So
Navy players kind of by themselves there, but they do a pretty good job to, stay on their feet, wait for their support to get there.
Good run there from Michael Tui Mavave. And then John Thornton. BYU doing a great job putting two man on him. That was.
One coming around.
He met Paul Asike and Leland Latu, I think, or Ada on that tackle, group tackle there from those two.
He wants to get another penalty to Navy. Essentially go with the quick tap, see if they can catch BYU sleeping. Try to go wide.
Good tackle there from, I think was that
Great counter ruck. Great counter ruck by BYU. Looks like Navy ended up with it.
Yep, Navy did come out with the ball. Navy just trying to get anything going here. Dolinar, number 4.
One more time.
Little crash. Ball came squirting out. Referee stopping play here for a minute.
Still number 1.
And the referee's having a chat with the captain, Kyle Assumption. He's not liking something that he's seen. And it is just pouring down rain here. So number 10, Jack McAuliffe will take the penalty kick. And Navy will have a line out around the 10-meter line, BYU's 10-meter line. Navy's got to really got to focus on getting a try here. Not just surviving, but really pushing the ball forward. Great steal from Will Taylor, the big man. Another big man, Dave Collins, with a good run there. And Johnny with a good high kick. Good, fielded well by Brandon Willis, who puts back not such a good kick. Brandon Willis looked like he hit him in the air, but the ref's letting him play on. So the ref is really allowing for a very open style of rugby. McAuliffe is just taken backwards by Luke Muckey. He's driven back about 8 meters by Luke Muckey. Zane Mendenhall still on his feet, driving forward. Good run by Zane. Way to hold on to that ball. Joe Pakula there at the some kind of a knock on. So it'll be a scrum down to Navy.
Mossy, are you here or there next week?
Good take there. Good scrum from Navy. Tightened up their forward pack there in that scrum. Good kick there by Whippy. Chasing his own kick. Taken by McAuliffe. Johnny with a good kick into space there. Slips it under Cyrus's feet. And that ball goes out, straight out on the full, but quick line out there from BYU. And then that ball's kicked out of bounds by Navy, deep in Navy's half.
So, yeah, pretty much just a kick exchange there. You can see players starting to get tired, especially once you hit 2 or 3 kick exchanges.
Yeah.
Players just start, kind of getting sick of just kind of chasing, so they kind of stay in the middle of the field and wait and see what happens.
Yeah.
Like that happened there, and definitely ended in BYU's favor. They got a line out on Navy's 22.
So good line out from the Cougars.
Yeah, I was going to say I've been very impressed with BYU's line out today too.
Leland Latu
delivered a hit, and yeah, he's knocked out. He's
Roll him over! Roll him on his side!
wow. That was a you see him moving there, so
he's moving, thankfully.
I think he just maybe blacked out there for a minute. So we'll see here on the replay what happened. He came in, so Leland gets it.
Oh, just head to head.
Yeah, just a head-to-head shot.
Yeah, we can see he's moving out there.
Leland managed to, I guess, take it on the thick part of his skull or something. I don't know. He came out of it okay.
Yeah, it looked like Leland it was the front of his head, the top of his head, but looked like he got him just in the temple.
Yeah. You'll see here again.
You'll see here one more time.
Oh yeah.
Looks like he got him right in the temple.
Yeah, right in the temple. That's where he got it. And I've been hit there before and been blacked out the same way. But
so for any of you young kids watching at home, when you're coming across the field to make that tackle, you always want to put your head on the back side of the player.
Yeah.
Whether it's a head that's going to be coming to hit you, or whether it's a knee. I've seen it too much in my playing career of a guy coming across to make that tackle, and he puts his head in front of the player instead of behind.
Yeah.
And exactly like you saw, whether it's a head or a knee or an elbow.
Because really he had a great angle.
Oh, great angle.
But he was just the wrong position. He was too high, and he was in front of him.
Yeah, if he had put his head behind him, he could have made a great hit on Leland. Yeah, he was in great position.
Yeah.
Slide your head right in back of him, and it could have been a great hit.
Yeah, and unlike football, in rugby, you don't have a thick plastic helmet on your head. You don't have guys aren't wearing knee pads. So
he's up and walking.
It's bone to bone. So good on him. That's number 19, Curtis Andrews, who comes off the field. So really happy to see that he just got shaken up a little bit there.
Yeah, it looks like he's pretty much walked under his own power, which is good to see. They're kind of just helping him off. But definitely glad to see that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, for any of you at home, play rugby, make sure that tackling you do a lot of tackling, but you got to protect your body when you don't wear any pads. Make sure you're always putting your head on the back of the defender instead of in front. You never want to see that happen. But in a case like this,
it's really you know, sometimes people don't like to go low. You know, maybe he was out of position that time or whatever, but you don't like to go low because I don't know. Maybe you just tend to stay high because it's easier, especially when you're tired. But going low is both. It's good. You know, it's a higher percentage tackle and it's safer.
Yeah.
So anyway, enough on that. Playing on here, Johnny Linehan taken down on a rodeo tackle. Luke Muckey throws behind him.
Great little inside pass there.
To Sumption. Kyle Sumption stays on his feet, or gets back on his feet, rather. Joe Pakula with a good 5-meter pick there.
Like to see Josh Whippy get in there with the big boys and do a little pick and go.
Dave Collins switching places with Whippy. Great play there. And Chris Wernley's out there for the try, so good run from him.
Yeah, just a great set of phases there. But BYU doing a good job of switching up between the forwards and the backs. Yeah, it's great.
Out to DC.
DC, a little skip pass.
DC was the assist out there. Skip pass out to Wernley. So good hands from the big man. Good pass from him. So we've got about 20 minutes left here in the second half. In the second half here. BYU leads 30, Navy 0.
Who's coming off? Thank you. Wait till after the kick.
So Chris Wernley coming out. BYU starting to roll some subs here as Johnny Linehan lines up to try and put this conversion through. Well within his range. And he pushes it to the right side. So no good. So score remains BYU 39, Navy 0. 20 minutes left here in the second half as we get ready for another Navy restart. Taken by Joe Pakula. Good take by him. Good strong take. Way to hold on to the ball there. Oh, and Dave Collins after the assist. Ball just bounces right off his hands. I think he was looking forward. Good tackle by Sumption on Henry Dewing. Henry Dewing comes in, gets a pass, and is promptly wrapped up by the captain, Kyle Sumption. And once again on that series, that last series, you saw, Kyle Sumption, as he does so well, he managed to rumble for about 10-15 meters and get into the secondary of Navy and get them on their back feet. If you can get one player that can consistently, break into that, break through that first defensive line, it's going to cause a lot of problems.
Yeah, it seems like he does it every single time too. Just hard to tackle him. Great strong runner.
Good scrum there from Navy. Curtis gives it back to McCullough. Not a great decision as there's BYU defensive players all over the place. And there's Jordan Lowry wrapping up number 14, Brandon Willis. Good run there from the flanker, Spencer Wilson. And there's Big John Thornton.
Yeah, once again, BYU put in that double tackle on him.
Yep.
Done a good job of doing that today. Navy's doing a good job putting together some phases.
Yeah.
Threatening on BYU's 22.
Zane Mendenhall with a good tackle there on Joe DiPietro.
If they can just stay patient and take care of the ball, they're looking pretty good right now.
Yeah, and they are being patient. There's Thornton again, making some people miss. Uh-oh. A little volleyball tip drill. BYU comes out with it, so good play there. Good defensive play by BYU. There's Cody Thompson, little pick and jam. Joe Pakula loses it backwards, and then it pops into the hands of Alston Harper. So Navy in a great position here. There's Dewing again, Henry Dewing. Neil Feller looking for help there, but BYU comes out with it. There's Bakula. Good take by Kyle Assumption, stays on his feet. Great run from him, and manages to get off a pass to Lowry. And Lowry gets taken down. BYU putting together the phases, and there's Lontine, Kyle Lontine.
And those, they're high percentage offloads, and those are exactly the ones you want.
Beautiful little T-ball kick. Oh! Linehan's kick out to Leland Latu.
Yeah, he sees Leland out on the outside, especially in a game like this. I mean, those wide passes are hard in this weather. Decides just do a little up and under. See, there's a ton of space. It was just a little bit short. Leland just had to get down a little too low and couldn't get his hands on it. Great option, though, from Johnny.
So we've got a timeout here for, it looks like we got an injury, but I don't know. I don't know if it's gonna got an injury time or if ref's gonna let him play, but
I think that's the fullback Cyrus Wilson staying down. Just kneeling there. I'm not sure. Must be maybe a shoulder or something if he's.
So we'll see a replay here of Kyle Assumption's last run.
Yeah, great switch by Joe.
Yeah.
Notifying that.
Oh, and that's where Curtis got hurt right there. He did go low on Assumption, but hit his shoulder. It was like right on Assumption's shin. So BYU continuing to break into that secondary defense, and they're taking Curtis off. Or Cyrus, rather. Sorry, Cyrus Wilson, number 15. So it's never easy when you have to play at that that fullback position against BYU, and you've got these guys breaking into the secondary, and you're the last line of defense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's had to make a lot of tackles today.
Yeah.
Played a great game though.
Once again, Captain Kyle Assumption with a very great run on that last one that you saw. Yeah, Joe Pakula's done a great job at this number 8 position as well.
So scrum here to Navy. When the ball goes, you know, when you see when the scrum half rolls the ball into the tunnel, if it rolls all the way through the tunnel and out the other side as it did on that, I guess it wasn't it wasn't a good scrum.
Yeah.
So they have to stop it and scrum again. Popped out. Kyle Assumption picked it up, but the ref stopped it, and we'll have another scrum here.
So Navy being driven straight back. So good steal from BYU there. Looks like they've come out with it. And there's Joe Pakula, number 8. Oh, who pushes over for a try.
Yeah, good job there.
Wow.
Man. You know, I think that's just you know, Joe ended up with that, but that's really a forwards try. Really just blowing Navy back and stealing that scrum. Joe ended up with it in the back and kind of just had a pretty easy little path there into the try zone. We can see here, just really just driving him back and see the ball there.
Back.
Joe picks
Pakula,
it up.
Yeah, smart play from him. Little 360 turn into the try zone.
So Joe gets the credit, but it's really a forwards try on that one.
Yeah, as I mentioned before, I think last week was the first week that Joe had started at the number 8 position. I'm not sure, he may have started against Arizona, but he's really done a great job in that position. So the captain, Kyle Assumption, coming off the field, played an excellent game. BYU running several subs now. One of the fan favorites, Riker Haddock, coming onto the field, wearing number 18.
Yeah, so Kyle Assumption and Kyle Lontine coming off. Rob Cook Riker Haddock coming on. Yeah, I love watching Riker Haddock run.
Yeah, he's a beast.
Getting some good minutes too, about 15 minutes left in the game.
Yeah, plenty of time here for both teams to get some more points on the board, and the rain just continues to fall, as you can see. Mucky gets it back to Linehan. Good take there from McCullough. Great kick from Johnny Linehan. So pushing Navy way back into their own half. Actually, I guess that ball went a little bit earlier, so it'll be a line out to Navy on the 10 meter, about the 10 meter line. Good line out from Navy. They've really had great line outs for most of the day. Only a couple steals from BYU. Getting some go forward ball here. Oh, and that ball pops out into the hands of Lowry. So we'll come back here to looks like we're having a line out here. Navy comes out with it. Another good line out from them. That was a good run from Henry Dewing. Navy coming back the other way. Being forced out of bounds. Good tackle there from Cody Thompson.
Yeah, Cody Thompson has played a great game today. I mean, he's done his role. He's done a great job in the scrums. Had some good runs, had some great tackles. Just really, a critical player that needs to play well, needs to step up and use his experience, and he's played great today for BYU.
Yeah, really, BYU's put a solid performance in from 1 to 15. Oh, there's the big man, Paul Lasike. Just a quick little step. Oh, no. Gets a wide pass out there to Whippy, but.
Yeah, unfortunately, looked for that wide pass, and unfortunately just couldn't really get it to go to hand.
We've got our last one. 16 on for.
16, no, 16. Must be a double 16.
Yeah, great job by Paul to draw the defender. You can see there's about probably 2 or 3 guys between him and Josh. Maybe just a simple short pass might have been a little bit better on that one.
A wide pass from Paul. Hard to field that. Josh Anderson's also come on the field. He's wearing number 16. So really lots of subs coming in here. Blazers on the field. Penalty there, so Navy's going to be driving up the field. And BYU being penalized again. Once again, Navy opting for the quick tap. Neil Feller taking it himself. Finding some help. Good run there by Alex Johnson, number 11. Oh, no. Navy knocks it on. So
I think it's
kind of been the story of Navy's day.
Yeah, it's very, I was going to say, it's kind of just been a frustrating day for Navy today. I think they came into it, they're a great team. Had a great year so far. Had a great quarterfinal last week against Texas. They came in, I think maybe the rain played a factor into it. They just came in, they just have not been able to get things going. Some credit goes to BYU and their defense, of course. BYU's defense has done a great job of setting that wall and not letting them get going. They just have not really been able to put anything together. And
yeah, and then the penalty there, full penalty against. Oh wow, full penalty there against Navy in the scrum for wheeling the scrum. Wow, what a series!
Great
from
job there.
BYU.
Yeah, started out there. There's great vision by Joe Pikula at the back.
It looks like maybe they're not going to give him the try. Oh no,
they're giving it to him.
Try awarded.
Yeah, great job there by Joe Pikula. Saw the good option for a quick tap. Oh, great run there. Great go forward. You see the paint just completely coming off.
Yeah.
Nice, great inside run. Another good run by Cody Thompson.
Yeah, Thompson gets back on his feet, and then he finds Steve Saya there.
Yeah, great job. Yeah, I think they were just questioning whether he actually got that down or whether he knocked it on. But
yeah, because it did kind of bounce off his head.
Yeah.
As he went into the try zone. And Riker Haddock immediately with a head wound. So he's getting attended to on the field there. So I'm not sure what happened to him. Maybe he caught a cleat to the head or something. He's been in a few minutes and he can't manage to keep his head from bleeding. So Johnny Linehan should be able to slot this one through pretty easily. But that ball is very wet, and he does, puts it through. So BYU 53, Navy 0. We've got about 7.5 minutes left here in the second half. So Riker Haddock got all taped up, bandaged up. He's good to go still. Well taken there by Otta Elkington. Good run by Otta, pushing the pack forward. Great run by him. Luke Moki out to DC.
DC's played a great game today.
Great game.
He's had some great runs, some great tackles. He's really brought it today and has had created some great go-forward momentum for BYU.
And Johnny Linehan with just a beautiful kick, right where you want it. Jack McCullough being forced to kick from deep in his own half. And here comes Paul Asiki, the big man. No one's touching him. No one wants to touch him.
It really was just too big of a gap there. He was running straight at him, and there was still just a huge gap.
There's Will Taylor. And there's Riker Haddock. Good run from him. Still on his feet. He's going to need to release that ball, I believe. But no, the referee's saying he's never held. So good run by Riker. Gets that ball. Keeps it rolling. Johnny with a little skip pass out to Josh Anderson. Josh Anderson is going to be forced out of bounds there. He didn't really have any support out there. So it'll be Navy line out down there on the 10-meter line. So Navy's had about 20 lineouts today. Joe DiPietro with another throw-in. They go with the front jumper once again. BYU really trying to strip that ball out of there. Oh, and good hit by BYU. Navy knocked it on. Just popped right out of their hands. I think both sides are just about ready to wrap this game up. Got about 5 minutes left, and everybody's wet and cold.
Yeah, it's been pouring pretty hard for about this whole second half, making things, very wet. Feels very wet. All the players are soaking wet, ball soaking wet.
Did we mention that everything's really wet?
Glad to see the fans staying, though.
Yep.
Staying through this.
The Cougar faithful.
Pretty good. Cougar faithful. Pretty good showing today.
There goes Josh Anderson. Wow.
Great line.
So easy.
A great line by Josh Anderson.
The transfer from Utah football program comes in and just immediately scores a try. He's only been in the game for about 3 minutes, 4 minutes.
Yeah, great job on him. Yeah, local boy from Salt Lake City. Oh, yeah, Johnny just opened up that gap. A great line by Josh.
Yeah.
And he slid about 10 meters there.
Looks like Josh came kind of from the weak side, too, so I think everyone
it's a great play.
Focusing on Paul Asike. So BYU looking to, I guess, equal their point total from last year. They scored 64 points against Navy. And really, this is the exact type of game that BYU needed to prepare themselves for the national championship. Great offensive performance, fantastic defense. I mean, Navy has gained very few meters on them offensively. As good of a team as they are, they just have been shut down. Yeah, the defense of BYU, they've really showed up today. That defensive line has been great today. Getting in the two-man tackles that they needed against this big Navy team. Joe Pakula, with a good take there. Keeps that ball in play. Cody Thompson with a good run. Or no, maybe that's Steve Saya. No, Cody Thompson. It's Cody Thompson. Johnny with a little T-ball kick out there. Oh! And the kick's on the spot, but a little bit low for Jordan Lowry, which is hard to do. He's pretty low to the ground. Yeah, I mean, Johnny's been looking for that option. He likes that option when they see space on the outside to do a little chip kick and have the wing run under it. Last time, saw about probably 15, 20 minutes ago, it was just a little bit short for Leland Latu. This time, just a little bit. Hard to field that ball at your knees when you're running onto it full speed. Yeah, especially in this weather. Yeah. But a great option. Has worked for BYU a lot this year. Great option when it's on. There's a lot of space on the outside. So scrum down to Navy as we enter into the final 2 minutes of the second half. Good scrum from BYU, driving them backwards. And there's Luke Muckey, but Chris Rixey manages to get it out, number 8. Looked like a good steal from Lasike, but Riker Haddock not having that. I don't know if Riker was ever back 10. I don't think he was. But Navy on the run. Good play from them. Inside the 22 here. Oh, no. Knocked on off of big John Thornock's face. John Thornton's face, sorry. Will Taylor's forced out of bounds there by Chris Rixey. And Navy going for the quick line out, trying to catch BYU on the back foot, which looks like they have. Josh Anderson, though. Yeah, I think that just came off a forward pass is what the ref is saying on that one. Yep, forward pass will be a scrum to BYU here. And the rain actually is starting to come down harder than it has been. Just continuing to pour here.
I want to talk to one of the coaches when the game's over. The coaches are all over here. We don't really have to be Ray here might be able to help you. He's got the microphone. No, he used to play, but he knows all the guys. He could be our media.
So scrum down to BYU. The rain actually getting a bit distracting. Paul Lasike, good run from him. And Leland Latu with a quick pass, but and Blazer handles it. Gets back on his feet. So he's got plenty of support there and continues to run. So good run from Blazer. Luke Muckey to Linehan to big DC, who with a little deke step. Good run from DC, David Collins. great kick from Luke off of the outside of his right foot. And Josh Anderson picks it up. Oh no! And he just steps out of bounds. Just steps out of bounds.
Barely too. I saw it was right in front of us. I think his heel barely got on the line. Unfortunately, the ref called the game. That's the game.
So that's how we end it. Josh Anderson, he barely stepped on the line. So great game from BYU today. They executed their game plan from start to finish. Not much more you can say. We've pretty much said it all. Great play from 1 to 15, and the impact subs came in and did a great job too. Thanks to Navy, the Naval Academy, the midshipmen coming out here in these terrible conditions, flying all the way out here from Maryland, and doing a great job of putting up a fight. Navy's got to look at this game and just. They got a lot to. I guess they got a lot to work on for next year as they prepare for the big games.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, they've had a great season, great semifinal game today, and BYU has earned their trip back to the national championship game next week. That will be in Rio Tinto Stadium, Saturday, May 3rd. You can find out more information about that at varsitycup.us. They'll play the winner of Cal and Central Washington, which is actually kicking off right now. Check back for more details. One more thing, we'd just really like to thank AV Productions for everything they do to put these web streams together for this whole year, making these home games live available to all. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for watching, and go Cougars.
Yeah, go Cougars as we go into the national championship. Unfortunately, Ryan and I do not have the announcing acumen to be able to be your announcers for next week's game. It will be televised as well on, I believe,
NBC.
Yeah. So you'll be able to watch it and with some professional announcers as well. But we'll miss you in the off season. Make sure you come out to BYU Rugby Camp if you've got the desire, got the time here in June. And thank you very much for a great season.